Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator. What are some milsurps out there that you could still get for cheap in 2024? We're coming near 2025, so if you're looking for some Christmas ideas for yourself, these might be great options. We've also come to conclude that a lot of these military surplus rifles have exponentially increased in value, and it's just getting harder to find them, and it's also getting harder to find them for cheap. Something else that you should keep in mind, but that you probably already know, is that the rate of inflation has gone up. So economic conditions are not the greatest right now. People are paying a lot more for goods and services than they have before. Like you go to a coffee shop and get a coffee here for like $7 to $8, and it's like, what? What happened? Yeah. So try not to splurge on those, but man, they're so delicious. Anyways, there are some options out there for military surplus rifles that I have seen and you can get for really cheap-ish compared to previous years. All right, number one on my list here, in no particular order, is the Arisaka Type 99 Last Ditch. Some people don't like Last Ditch Type 99s. There's a bad rumor going around that they'll just blow up. Not only that, I mean, they just look rough. So aesthetically, someone might say, yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'd rather take the expensive, nice looking one. Realistically though, I think the Type 99 Last Ditch is a true testament to the American willpower. I mean, you look at the rifle and you say, wow, Japan took so many shortcuts near the end of the war here to pump these things out faster and to try to get these in the hands of soldiers. That's because American GIs were island hopping so fast during the Pacific and taking over all these bases, and the bombing runs were bombing all the factories. The American military was causing logistical disruptions. Even when you look at mass manufacturing, the American people in the US were making ships faster than Japan. Okay, so now let's get into why people think they blow up. So after World War II, a lot of these Japanese rifles came back to the US, and some of the crude-looking rifles were dubbed the Last Ditch rifles. And that also included Type 38 Japanese training rifles. Well, a lot of American GIs would just grab some 6.5 Jap ammo and stick it in the Type 38 training rifles, and the training rifles were only meant for like blanks. And they would obviously have catastrophic failures, sometimes really just blowing up in the user's face. They were not meant for actual ammunition. Now, the Type 99 Last Ditch rifles kind of got, because of how crude they looked, kind of got rolled up into that they'll blow up in your face. A lot of the older generation, they kind of like followed along and spread the rumor that the Last Ditches will blow up in your face. So from what I've seen, in my opinion, the Type 99 Last Ditch is safe to shoot because there just isn't any evidence out there that backs up the claim that Type 99 Last Ditches are unsafe to fire and will blow up. I got a 99 Last Ditch and I shoot it all the time, and I use Steinel ammo. And that's another thing why people don't like Type 99s, Type 38s, some of the Japanese rifles, is that a lot of collectors really just want to go shoot it. A lot of enthusiasts want to go shoot them, and it's hard to find the ammo, as with some of the other military surplus rifles on my list here. So when it comes down to it, I go to Steinel Ammo. Steinel Ammo, just full disclosure here, sponsors a lot of my videos. So if you're looking for ammo for your military surplus rifles, go check out Steinel Ammo. All right, so overall, the Type 99 Last Ditch rifles, you might still be able to find for cheap in 2024 because A, there's that rumor floating around. B, they're just it's kind of hard to find ammo for. And C, yeah, you have the aesthetic appearance of them. They just don't look very snazzy, and they're crude. They took a lot of shortcuts. So with those reasons being stated, I think you still might be able to find a Last Ditch 99 for cheap-ish. I saw one on Cabela's a while back, and it was like $300, which is not bad in today's economy, and especially for Cabela's used guns. Oh yeah, another thing about the cartridge here is that it's kind of expensive. All right, number two on my list here is the Carcano M1891 Cavalry Carbine, quote unquote. It is one of those little carbines that not a lot of people really like, because Italy just didn't get a lot of notoriety during World War I and World War II. Now you gotta remember, World War I, they held off the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and they were also part of the Allies. So what rifles did they use? They used the Carcanos, And there was a lot of Carcano carbines that were out there also. Now, currently there are some Carcano carbines coming in from Italy. These were used by the police, I believe, and they are actually in pretty decent shape, and they're coming into the country. I picked up mine from Royal Tiger Imports. I'm not sure if there's any other places out there that have them, but they're in the $240 to $350 range. Now, with that being said, this is another rifle here that is hard to get ammo for, or it's going to be expensive. Now, if you get PPU ammo, it's mass made and it's probably cheap, but it's not that accurate. Now, if you go to Steinel Ammo, like I've stated before, they sponsor my videos. I specifically like the brass round nose for the Carcano carbines and rifles. I've also used the soft points, and these are measuring at 267 diameter, so they are the proper size for Carcanos. I recently just used this to hunt deer with, and I harvested a deer. You can check out that video up here. And then there's another rumor going around that there's just junk in general. I think it's because mainly people, especially in the US, don't understand the Carcano platform. It was designed differently, okay? It had a Monlisher style magazine, so it took a clip, an M-block clip, and you see M-block clips in M1 Garands, but people don't complain about that. They just complain about the Carcano ones. That's because some of the aftermarket Carcano clips, they can be a little wonky and cause some feeding issues. So there's that. So if you get a surplus one, then you're good, or you should be good. Now, accuracy-wise, you're supposed to line up the sights, and it's not going to line up like this. You got to line it up with the front sight at the very bottom of the V-notch in the rear sight, and then you're going to aim a little higher or just about level with that top of that rear sight there. Now, what I did to help know where the point of aim was is I tied some fishing line with a knot on there to where my point of aim was. Now, your Carcano is going to have a specific point of aim. Every rifle's got a different point of aim. So I would definitely recommend that you take yours to the range, see where it hits, try the fishing line trick, and I just use green threaded fishing line, and see if that helps. You can maybe use something else to put up there and help you out as well. You could also draw a picture, you can write it down and have descriptions, you can photograph it and put a little X where it hits. There's different ways to document it, but if you document it properly, you shouldn't have a problem. Since posting my deer hunting video with the Carcano, other people have come out and said, hey, I use a Carcano too. And they use it for hog, they use it for deer, bear, and one guy even said he used the bayonet. All right, so to wrap this up with the Carcanos, they're cheap, they're out there, they're available right now. So those two pros should, if you haven't got one, you should, be looking at one before they get dried up. The reasons why people don't really want to get them is because there's the accuracy rumor, the junk rumor, there's the ammo situation that's expensive and it's hard to get, and there's the historical significance of the country of origin, Italy. Also, to go along with the Carcano rumors going around, there's the JFK conspiracies. But with all those things aside, if you get the platform and you understand it and you practice with it and you become efficient at it and you know where the point of aim is, then you should have no problem having fun with it. Or even like what I did, which was go out there and go hunt with it and harvest a deer. All right, number 3 model of rifle on my list here that you can get for cheap-ish in 2024 are Mausers. Now, I'm not talking about your K98Ks. I'm actually just talking about other Mausers from other countries out there. There's so many Mausers used by so many countries, and some people really forget about them. So the ones that I have found to be cheap in 2024 are going to be your Argentine Mausers. They seem to have come down in price. It's a little hard to get 7.65 Argentine as well. Spanish M1916s. Might be able to get some Czech ones for cheap. The Yugo ones are out there. There's probably a little bit more expensive. The Turkish ones. So when it comes down to these Mausers, certain places might have them for really expensive, because I've seen some Turkish Mausers recently go up in value, while other places might have Turkish Mausers still at very low valuations. So you need to go search around. I mean, with all these rifles, you need to go search around. If you're looking for anything specific or just looking for something cheap, You can search around and look for them with your eyeballs and use your research skills and just make a list of ones that you would consider getting and then just make a decision. With Mausers, generally speaking, if you get something in 8mm, it's a little easier to find ammo for. PPU makes it and they're pretty good. You've got other ammo manufacturers out there that make 8mm Mauser. So it shouldn't be a problem to get ammo. You can probably just source it online. You might be able to find it at big box stores too. All right, so why are some of the Mausers from other countries not high priced? Well, you gotta think, some of these countries like Argentina's known for soccer, like Messi. But Argentina, not known for rifles. So when you look at an Argentine Mauser, you're like, meh, because you don't really know much of the history about what Argentina used those rifles for. Same thing with like Yugoslavia, same thing with like Czechoslovakia, same thing with like other countries out there like Spain. You know, you might revert to the Spanish Civil War, but you're like, not really that big of a deal. Not really, you know, catches my fancy. So not a lot of people really interested in the specific history that's tied to these rifles, though there is probably tons of history that you can find about soldiers and military use, political disagreements, you know. There's all kinds of things out there you could probably research, and you know, if you really like the history of it, and a lot of people would probably just get some of these foreign rifles just for the aesthetics, just for the design differences, just to be unique at the range or just be unique in your collection in general. So yeah, overall, these Mauser rifles that you can find from other countries, it's just they don't have a lot of history tied to them, so people are not really interested in them, which makes their valuations a lot lower. Also, you're going to have some that might not have ammo that's easy to find, some that are chambered in cartridges that are easy to find. You have so many variants out there that you just got to really just search around, and that takes a lot of time to search around for them and to understand them, because you also got to do the research on them as well. But I've got a few Mausers from other countries that I definitely enjoy taking to the range, and I think they're a great addition to my collection. All right, bonus rifles that you can get for really cheap here, 2024. You look at Sporterized rifles, any kind of Sporterized rifle out there, you might be able to get for really cheap. Some are still really expensive for some reason. Some people are just like, yep, nope, it's still a M1903, but it's highly Sporterized. There's no way it's going to get back to military configuration without spending a huge amount of money, or maybe not even at all. It may not even be worth it. Might be chambered in a different cartridge. So a lot of Sporterized rifles you can find out there. They might have their own history tied to them. I mean, you could, if you're just looking to go deer hunting with one of these or go elk hunting or something, and you need a large caliber rifle that is really accurate, and you might be able to find a really decently done Sporterized military surplus rifle. If you're looking for something just to put back into military configuration, I think the most I've seen out there that are still Sporterized that are easy to do are probably the Lee Enfield rifles. I've done quite a few of them, and you know, it's just tedious work. So if you like putting in the work and you want something cheap, you know, that you could put in a little bit more effort and to get to looking like military configuration, you might want to check out some #1 Mark IIIs or even #4s. All right, well, that's it for the video. Let me know your thoughts. What have you found in 2024 that was undervalued that you ended up getting? Got any ideas out there for what you can find for cheap still in 2024? Let me know in the comments section. Also, check out the merch link in the description. Help support Battlefield Curator, help support me and the channel. Buy yourself a t-shirt there, link in the description. Pulverize the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.